Welcome back to Boner'z Garage. So today I have the cylinder head back, the broken stud. As you can see, oh, that's the intake side, sorry. Broken stud has been repaired right there. And so we're gonna get all this cleaned up, get rid of all this carbon on the inside here, clean the valves up, lap them, and start putting it back together. So when I got it back, it was just like I gave it to him. Had the valve springs and keepers still on it. And I did not, at the time, have a valve spring tool to be able to remove them. And so I did end up getting one. This one is like 10, 11 bucks at Harbor Freight. So real easy. But in the meantime, just because I wanted to take everything apart and prep for this, what I did was I put a socket over, and you need one big enough that your valve keepers don't get blocked by the socket. So I took this socket and see, this is 5/8, so that worked perfect. Probably could have went to like 3/4, might have been a little easier. But so what I did, you got your valve spring on there like this, put the C-clamp over it, put the socket in there, tighten it down until the spring doesn't allow you to go anymore. It does take a couple tries to get it straight. That was one of the struggles. But then once I got it straight, I was able to compress the spring. Then at that point, I was able to just take the whole thing, turn it, and I could hear the keepers fall into the socket. And then at that point, I was able to take pressure off and remove both valve springs. So if you need to remove valve springs in a pinch, that will work. However, can't get through the socket and it's blocked by the C-clamp on this part. So to install them, you'll need a tool. Granted, I don't have any sockets that I'm willing to sacrifice. If I did, however, if you had a cheap socket, and I'm sure I could just go buy a cheap socket, but they had the tool for 11 bucks, so why bother? Maybe another time, if I get bored, I might make one. But the idea is if you had, and again, I would probably use a 3/4 socket. Maybe if I could find one like a little taller, maybe a 1/2-inch drive might work better. Drive doesn't really matter since you're not really using a ratchet on it anyway. But then you could take and drill out large holes, probably 3 or 4 of them around, that would allow you to get a small magnet in there so that you can put these keepers back in there. They're not very big. Let's see if I can push them out there. So there's the keepers in there. And basically what the keeper does is you get your valve spring on there, you push the spring down so you can get to this little ridge right here on the valve, and the keeper's got 2 halves that go right in that ridge and they hold it. And then so once the valve spring has got pressure on it, that keeper is tapered so it's locked in, and that holds the valve in place so it doesn't fall down into your cylinder like that, or keeps the valve closed during static engine operation, when it doesn't need to be. So yeah, but that's what the plan is to clean all this up. And so you can kind of see if you look, like I said, you can see all the black here. There's a lot of carbon. Some's already started to fall out, which is good. The guy that did some of the work, he said that he did try to clean it some, but he recommended cleaning it more. You can see on the end of the valve, there's a bunch of gunk there. The valve seats look pretty good, but because of the amount of gunk I'm getting out and just I can see around the back edge of the valve, don't mind all the white. That's from me welding a nut, trying to get that stud out. But I'm going to clean these up with a wire wheel. And then this ridge right here, you can't really, I mean, you can see the line, but it's not a very good seal to the cylinder head. The cylinder head side looks better, but lapping the valves is going to take care of that. And I know everybody's like, well, you need a valve lapping tool. Well, I do not, because I can, you know, it's not cleaned up, so it's a little hard to turn, but I can turn both valves rather easily with my fingers right here. So, you know, can you put a little bit more pressure on them with the tool? Maybe, but I can do it putting pressure on them with my fingers. Like I said, it's all dirty, it's gritty, it doesn't want to turn right now. Once I get this cleaned up better, things will be easier. So yeah, I'm still waiting. Obviously mine's a black cylinder head, and the cylinders on my bike are black. It's a crinkle black engine. I'll have to get the part number. I might throw it in the description, but I ordered some of this crinkle black because you can see right here, which that might not be too noticeable when it's on the bike, but where everybody was working trying to get that stud out, it's definitely scraped some there. There's chips along these fins, all that. So I got some replacement touch-up paint, crinkle black, to be able to go back and clean all that up and make it look nice. I'll probably do the cylinders and whatever other areas I can reach on the bike as well. So yeah, the plan, I've got a bunch of wire wheels and various brushes, so on. I'm gonna try and do as much as I can by hand, and then I'll take this thing out in the garage and spray the crap out of it, brake clean, carb cleaner, whatever. I got a can of carb cleaner here, but I think I might have half-used one out in the garage that I'll use up first. That's basically it. When I get to lapping the valves, I will turn the camera back on and show you that. I need to actually grab my drill. So we'll be back to that. I will grab the drill. This is gonna make a mess, don't worry. Yes, I'm in the kitchen, but tablecloth I'm gonna throw away anyway. And put some paper towels down, which probably doesn't do much. You can tell by my hands. That's pretty much it. Let's get to it.